Bingo, we're back. 2 o'clock rock here on a given Friday. And we have a wonderful, I would call it a scoop. I'm going to call it a scoop. This is about Rigoletto. We have Erik Haines, Director of Operation of Education at Hawaii Opera Theater. Welcome to the show, Erik.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. I mean, this is so important that we revisit what happened only 5 days ago at the Hawaii Opera Theater.
It was pretty special.
Yeah, it was Rigoletto, and it was in concert. And Quinn Kelsey was there, you know, local homegrown opera star at the Lyric in Chicago.
Oh boy, he just did Rigoletto at Paris Opera.
Oh my good.
Yeah,
Oh.
San Francisco. He's been singing at the Met. I mean, he's at the biggest houses in the world. He's an A player.
He's an A player for
Yep.
sure. Local guy. We grew him here. How many years ago was he singing only here? Now
Oh
look.
yeah, I remember when he first started. It was right when we started the training program for local singers. I had him go out doing a tour to schools, both on Oahu and neighbor islands, doing Little Red Riding Hood, and also in our residency program, we used to throw some adults out there. He sang Macbeth at Sunset Beach Elementary with a bunch of third graders.
You've been doing opera education in Hawaii for a long time.
I have.
Seen them all. But you know, I mean, he was extraordinary. I must say. And I
Amazing.
noticed something. I want to see if you agree. I think his voice was sweeter. This may not be the right adjective, but it seemed to me more sweet than I remembered.
Yeah,
he
I think
always
so,
had a
too.
very strong voice, but there was something really wonderful about it.
You know, singers are kind of funny when they first. I think this is the case with most singers, maybe not all. But when you first start singing, it's a loud contest.
Yes.
And then after a while, you figure out, oh, there's some musicality and dramatics involved in what we do. And Quinn has just become so nuanced. It's become so beautiful and so expressive. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and his acting, he can act.
Oh yeah.
Before he stood there like a block of granite, you know.
Yep.
Now he moves and he's nimble and joyful and really wonderful movie. And this was well acted. But I tarry because I wanted to. First of all, I wanted to say that Erik is an opera star himself, and he was in that opera.
I don't know about a star, but I help move the action along as necessary.
Okay, you want to be modest, all right. He's been in many operas here and elsewhere, I think, yeah?
Mostly in Hawaii.
Mostly in Hawaii, and he's played many roles, and he's a mainstay in the industry of opera, the art of opera in Hawaii, and so he speaks to us as a person who, you know, was on the stage that very night. Yeah.
It was a special night.
Yeah, special night. I walked in, I didn't know. My wife takes me to the opera. I didn't know. I thought, you know, it was going to be Rigoletto with sets and costumes and all that. And I walk in and I say, my goodness, there's a symphony on the stage. This must be the Hawaii Symphony. We must be in the wrong hall. After a while, I figured it out. But it worked out so beautiful. It was so beautiful, so moving, so touching. They pushed the symphony back, so there was space to actually move around in front of them. And the symphony was so into this. And they played in tuxedos. Erik was in a tuxedo, a black tie and all that.
I was.
As concert singers usually wear. However, they acted. And they moved around the stage, and you know, it was like there was scenery. I didn't miss the scenery.
We saw it.
You're right.
We saw the whole world that was going on up there.
Yeah, and the players were fabulous. I mean, it was. I kept thinking, why is my body vibrating this way? I loved it. I was deep breathing all the time. I feel emotional reaction to this thing, as few operas. I mean, even with sets. This was really special. This was a once in a lifetime. It was only one night too.
One night, yeah. Too bad. Yeah. I think the imagination that everybody brought to it filled in for the sets and the costumes. Everybody felt the music and the story so deeply that they were able to carry it off without all those extra elements.
For you know, those who don't know Rigoletto, can you give them 90 seconds on the story?
Okay.
Not that it's very important, it's the music, but hey.
I could probably even do it faster than that.
Okay.
But basically, you have the Duke of Mantua. He's he's a womanizer, and very powerful. No one can say no to this guy, and he's pretty much had everybody's wife. And he's come across a new gal in town. And that gal happens to be the daughter of his court jester. And his court jester is very, very acidic. Everybody in the court hates him, but he's the count's right-hand man, so no one can say anything against him. And the courtiers decide they're going to go play a little joke on Rigoletto because they've heard that he has a mistress, and so they're going to kidnap the mistress and bring her back and let the count do his thing. But the count, he basically he rapes people. He's not a real. There's not much redeeming about the count, except for his great aria that he sings, which everybody knows, La Donna è mobile. And so the courtiers trick Rigoletto into helping them kidnap his own daughter, and they bring his daughter back. And it turns out that they know each other because he's been courting her, pretending that he's a student. And she's already fallen in love with him. Unfortunately, he does rape her, and she feels as though very shamed. And so Rigoletto's now bent on revenge. Earlier in the show, he's come across an assassin, Sparafucile, who's
a wonderful name for an assassin.
Yeah, it really is. And Sparafucile has basically given him his business card at that point. And so Rigoletto goes and talks to him and said, okay, I got this guy I want you to take care of, the Duke. And so the Duke goes to his tavern and makes friends with Sparafucile's. I'm not sure whether she's his sister or just someone that works, but basically she's the woman of the house, so to speak. Yeah. And she falls in love with the Duke. The Duke is very charming. And so Sparafucile tells her, she goes, don't kill the guy, don't kill the guy. He says, all right, but I got to get a body in a bag for this other guy. And so he says, all right, tell you what, I won't kill the Duke, but the next guy who enters the door, I will kill. And Gilda, who is Rigoletto's daughter, hears this and says, I can't let that happen. I love him too much. And so she dresses as a man, enters the door, she gets stabbed, put in a bag. Rigoletto comes and gets the bag, and he's ready to throw it in the river and opens it up, and it's his daughter. And because it's an opera, she's not dead yet, because they have time to sing a duet.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing how dying people can sing duets.
I always heard that's the difference between Broadway and opera. In Broadway, when you get shot, you die. And in opera, you get shot, you
right.
sing. Yeah.
Well, that's the magic of opera. Why does that remind me of the end of Tosca, where the bullets are supposed to be blanks, but they're real bullets?
Right.
And where his girlfriend, his wife, his fiancée, is supposed to get him out of trouble, and she pays the guy off to put blanks in, and he actually, Scarpio. Yeah. It was Scarpio. A name like Sparafucile.
Yeah, Sparafucile and Scarpia. Yeah, great name.
It's really parallel. Yeah. Well, these endings are just fabulous. And when she does die on the stage, it was very touching. It was lovely music all the way through. I wonder. I mean, are you into La Donna Mobile? Are you into that? Could you?
I could probably give you the beginning of it.
Okay. How about the beginning?
Might have to make up a few words.
Make up a few words.
Okay. La donna è mobile, qual piuma vento, puro m'avento, e ci dormento. A little bit of, I think I made up the last couple phrases.
It's okay.
It's not my rep.
Well, the thing about that opera is that you remember the music. It all sounds totally familiar.
Yeah. You
walk down the street and the music is still in your head. And there's aria after aria seemed to me to be familiar and lovely and loving. It is a fabulous.
There's a lot of great music in that show. After there's a legend that goes along with the La Donna è mobile when Verdi was writing it. That he didn't give it to the tenor till the night before because he was afraid that the tune would go out and that everybody would know it before the opera premiered.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew it was good.
He did. Smart guy.
And then there was My Heartthrob. That is, wait.
Is that the Gilda?
Yeah, the Gilda.
Nadine
Sierra. She was absolutely, at first I thought she looked good, and she, great looking body, and really pretty and all that. But then she started singing. Whoa, this was a lady of the dreams. She was fabulous.
She was absolutely amazing. You'd be lucky to ever hear a voice like that live in your life.
Yeah.
She's that good.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, when I at times when I heard her, reminded me of Maria Callas with that smokiness, darkness to the voice sometimes, yet it has all the agility, all the range, all the expression, just an amazing voice.
It was soaring.
At 29.
29.
29 years of age.
I thought she was less than 30, but wow, there it is. She was amazing.
Yeah.
I have to, in a way, she stole the show from Gwen Kelsey.
Yeah, she's got better tunes.
You really. Yeah, I mean, and it got better as the opera went forward. Her music and what do we call it? The emotive situation of her character. It just got more and more compelling.
Yeah.
By the end, she was the star for me.
Absolutely. And you know what one of the neatest things about the cast was, often these people are just, divas and divos. Someone Facebooked me about that. Oh, those must have been tough to work with. Everybody was just down to earth, having a great time, and there was none of that. People are playing jokes on each other. It was just absolute pleasure.
We could see that from the audience. We could see that everybody was having a good time. It was a gestalt feeling of community there.
Yeah.
It was really special performance. It was 1 in a million, as you said, 1 in a lifetime. I was there. I'm so happy I was there. You were there on the stage. I'm sure you were happy you were there.
Oh, it was fun to stand there and be so close to these people as they're singing all these great tunes.
Well, I think Rigoletto and that performance is really sort of a whole validation of opera in Hawaii. I mean, you guys have been going since, what, 1970 or so? And am I right about
1960s.
60s.
Yeah.
60s.
I think 62 or 63.
And
They did the first Butterfly at McKinley High School.
Wow.
Back when it was part of the Honolulu Symphony before they separated in approximately 1980, I believe.
Yeah. My wife and I have been going a long, long time, and we're so enamored with it. And I'm telling you before that you get to see an opera with one set of players, and you understand it, and you like them. Then you get to see the same opera with another set of players, and it's your old friend. Mm-hmm. And because you can make a compare-contrast of the players, and the sets and all that stuff that goes, all the attention to detail goes along with it, you begin to see the outlines of the true message, the true opera, what he was trying or she was trying to say to the audience, and you realize it's timeless, classical.
Yeah,
these will last forever. These operas, no.
And it's kind of interesting you say that. There was 2,000. I'm sure a couple things I haven't shared with many people. One was there was a lot of talk, amongst the people involved in putting this thing together. After we heard the first rehearsal, and said, "This is what Verdi meant. These are the voices he heard when he wrote this show.
These voices.
Sunday. These voices you heard on Sunday. That's what he heard in his head when he wrote this music, which you don't often hear." And the other neat thing is the first thing we do before we really start working on shows, all the cast gets together. We just sing through the show, make sure the conductor makes sure all the tempi are right and everybody's happy with things. After we did that, Bibi Freitas, whom you know, she's one of the Hawaii living treasures. She's worked with Leonard Bernstein, Kurt Adler, the greatest people of the 20th century. Her comment was, that should have been recorded.
Yeah.
That's huge coming from someone like that.
Yeah, because it isn't usually.
Yeah.
And the other thing people forget is that when they stand there and belt it out in front of a couple thousand people, they don't have microphones.
No mics.
And he said, how can they make their voice that loud? If I stood there and tried all day to get that kind of volume, forget about accurate music, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's stupid singer tricks.
Okay.
Well, it's science. It's science, actually. I think in Scientific American there was an article about this. What do classical singers do? And you can demonstrate this if you have an acoustic piano. And most wind instruments, I think all wind instruments work this way. If you go to an acoustic piano and you compress any note you want, say C, for instance, and then we take another C, the octave below. So we just to press that one C up there, don't make it sound at all, and then you really hit that C hard, the octave below, take your finger off, and this C above will be making sound. Because of something called overtone series.
Of course.
And so what singers do is they try to reinforce that overtone series. And once you start getting the overtone series reinforced well, and what we call focus, squillo, front, whatever, but it's basically reinforcing those overtones, then it's going to pop out into the house well. So it's not just about decibels, it's about focus. And that's what allows you to cut over the orchestra and out into the house.
It's so interesting. I never heard that before. Thank you for that. Yeah, there are many secrets to singing opera, many secrets to singing in general, and to making your body do those things. And it's so funny that you meet an opera star like Erik Haines right here. And he's an ordinary person. Look, an ordinary person.
Yeah, I dig holes. I build,
Yeah, just an ordinary
build
fellow.
walls.
Or he puts his pants on one leg at a time. But then you ask him to sing, and there's another person there. It sort of comes out at you. It's like Superman, the cape off. And he can fill the house. You know, you heard just now how he sings. You can fill the house with the same way with the overtones and all that. And it's like another person. It always, you know, hits me that way.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, it's if I was at a party, I'd be the guy standing in the corner. But getting on, it'd be easier for me to go on stage in front of 10,000 people than to go and interact with a bunch of people at a party.
Yeah.
Much easier for me to do that.
So Erik, you know, you've been hanging around Hawaii Opera Theater for, God, a long time.
Yeah, I started my first role I sang, I think it was in '86.
That's a long time.
86, 87, yeah, Tales
Do
of
the
Hoffman.
math on that. That's 30 years.
Yeah.
And you've been singing, and you've been doing the things that indicate your level of dedication, including educational programs, which we'll talk about right after the break. Why? Why? What is it about the opera and about HOT that make you do this?
I think to me, singing it's something that feeds my soul. It's spiritual. I don't have a choice. It's a calling. I started off in zoology.
Oh, that follows.
Yeah, I started off in zoology, aquaculture, and I was in choir in high school because I was forced to by some upperclassmen. And then when I got to college, my first year it was all science, and I found I missed music, and so I went and auditioned for choir. And next thing I knew, I was taking half music courses and half zoology courses, and I walked into I didn't know what to do at that point, and it was December, or right before the semester break. I walked into a Pizza Hut, and playing on the jukebox was the theme song. Fame, I'm gonna live forever, baby, remember my name. I said, that's a sign from God. Nothing else is. So I went right over and declared as a music major. And that's basically how I got involved in music. And opera came later. I was very interested in art song at first, and then became very interested in Wagner, oddly enough, just because I thought the whole idea of a composer putting the story together, the libretto and the music together, and those incredible dramas that he wrote.
Yeah.
And then from that went into Mozart and Verdi and Puccini, and kind of found my way in that way. Yeah.
And looking back, it's been beautiful.
Yeah, it's been had a lot of great opportunities and fabulous staff and friends to work with at the opera. They're just amazing, hardworking, dedicated group of people.
You've been there. You've been at the center of it all this time, as long as I've known the opera. Well, you know, one of the things it teaches us is when you get a message from God, take it. And I'm getting a message now that we should take a break, so we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Mark Shklov. I'd like you to join me for my program, Law Across the Sea, on thinktechhawaii.com. Aloha.
Aloha. My name is Danelia, Danelia.
And I'm the other half of the duo, John Newman. Aloha.
We are the co-hosts of Keys to Success, which is live on the Think Tech live streaming network series, weeklies on Thursdays at 11 a.m.
Hi, my name is Aaron Wills. You are watching thinktechhawaii.com. I am the host of the show Rehabilitation Coming Soon. You can watch us live at thinktechhawaii.com at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. I will see you there.
Welcome to thinktechhawaii.com. This is Johnson Choi, your host. My focus is Asia in Review. We talk about interesting subjects in Asia. Be sure to check the thinktech.com website on the next topic. Thank you.
Bingo, we're back with Erik Haines of Hawaii Opera Theater. In addition to being a star on the stage of Rigoletto and many, many other operas over the years, Erik is the director of education there. And education means a lot for opera. I mean, we need to educate kids. We need to have the community educated for that matter. You're in charge. No pressure. How do you sleep at night?
I don't.
What kind of programs you got going?
Okay, we got a number of programs going. We have 2 training programs going on. We have the Maisie Orvis Opera Studio, which has been going, boy, it started actually when Quinn was in college. And so he's one of the first members of that program and actually made some good connections through that. And so that's a training program for adults. They have to be living in Hawaii, and we bring in people from around the world to work with them, and they also work with the opera staff. In fact, right as we speak, Hal France, who conducted the Rigoletto, is actually coaching people one-on-one in the rehearsal hall, and he'll do a class tonight. 2 years ago, we started a program to mirror that, but for high school kids. And so we bring in people just for them. And the nice part about this is that the artists that we bring in for both groups can complement the other group. So Hal France is here, so he'll do a class for the high school kids. I'll bring in someone for the high school kids. They'll do some classes for the adults. And so they complement each other very well. One of the great things about the adult studio is nobody's charged for any of this. And they get some really fabulous people to work with, fabulous professionals. They get coach pianists from Yale coming in, San Francisco Opera Center, professional singers, all kinds of people. But the deal is you got to sing in at least one opera chorus.
You must learn it and you must sing it.
Yep. So you have to go and be part of our production, which helps enrich our chorus, and helps us provide better productions to the community.
So this is all kind of a recruiting process.
There's some of that too, yeah.
But some people have it, some people don't, but everybody gets to play.
Yep. Yep. Well, actually, most of these people have something. Otherwise, they don't get in. It's by audition.
Okay.
You got to have something.
Okay. What do you have to have?
You have to have some raw talent, at least, to get in the door. So some of the singers who come in and go, they have potential to get to move forward. Whether they do or not depends on what they put into it. We have other people, that have graduated from some of the greatest music schools in the country, and they're professional level. And so they're looking for something different, some more polishing, trying to take it, to the even higher level.
It must be a real kick to go from a life where you haven't, at least in a while, performed any opera, to come to the Hawaii Opera Theater, in the body of creative experience, and then perform an opera. That must be a real kick for people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So where do you perform? Where do you play? Where can I see this?
they're all over the place. So you see them on stage at the opera sometimes. We do some things in the community here and there. We'll be down at High Sam at some point doing something. I think we're going to do a family day, probably during Bohème in the fall. We'll have some of them perform at that. And so various other things come up in the community. Sometimes we're asked by some of the theaters on Oahu or the neighbor islands to go do a gala evening, and we do half Broadway, half opera.
That's lovely. Okay, then that's the adult side.
So that's the training side. Okay. On the other side, we have a touring program. So each year we produce a touring show aimed at elementary, although it plays well for middle school and high school, and even adults. If you know these shows and want to come out and see them in a really condensed version, they're kind of fun and funny. And so next year we'll be producing Hansel and Gretel, so they'll go out and tour schools in Oahu for 4 weeks, and it'll also go to Maui, Kauai, and the Big Isle as well. So we'll do about 70, 80 performances of that. We also have a residency program where we take a population of students. It's usually at an elementary school, although we've done high school and middle school. Matter of fact, we just finished working with a group of middle school kids out at Neil Valley for their summer school. The kids don't have to be from Neil Valley or feeding into that school. They can be from anywhere, homeschool, private schools, and we have some of those. And we work 4 weeks. The kids build the sets, the costumes, they help do the props. Everybody auditions, they learn the show, and then they give a performance. So we did Aida on Tuesday nights this past week. This past week.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's fabulous. Yeah, that's not an easy opera.
It's not. We started going through going, whoa, this isn't Rigoletto. Verdi got harder. Yeah, got a lot more accidentals in here. Yeah, so we got through that, and then we turned their cafetorium into a theater. We bring in lighting and sound and really try to turn it into a theater space. And so we do several of those a year. So
if you ever want anybody to tape that, you let me know.
Okay.
All right, we'd be down there.
Yeah, no, they're pretty cool.
Memorialize it, yeah. And they do pretty well, eh?
They do better than one would expect.
Yeah.
We also did Pirates of Penzance at IA Elementary with a bunch of 4th graders. Yeah. We worked with 5th graders out at Waikele Elementary. They wrote their own show. They worked with HPD's DARE program. And so they wrote a show about the dangers of drug and alcohol and peer pressure. and they wrote poetry and dialogue. We set their poetry to opera tunes, and went in there and learned it. There were solos and choruses, and
Wow.
and they gave 5
fabulous.
performances of that thing.
You know, the thing about it is that when you perform in public, and you show that you have an expertise that is worth showing in public, changes your life. And if you're in the 4th grade, the rule still applies.
Oh yeah.
It changes your life to do this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and these 4th graders at IAEA, IAEA is a challenging population of kids. There's, a lot of kids from challenging backgrounds. They're coming in from the Halava housing. We were told some of the kids were homeless, and at the end of the project, one of the comments that we most frequently received was, these children are all holding their heads higher and standing taller,
Yes,
having
yes.
gone through this experience.
Yes, and that is really a great and profound gift you give them. Beyond the music itself is it's worth giving and getting, but it also gives them a life, you know, a place in society.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things too. When you say that the music is a gift, it's a gift they take home with them.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from the parents, yeah, they've been singing this music all the time at home.
I can see
You hear it on the playground. It's become a part of their lives.
Yeah. So this is all innate. We're trying to build a body of knowledge and affinity for opera and classical music, classical opera in Hawaii. How are we doing?
I think we're doing okay. You know, it's hard to tell. I don't think I don't think the arts in general, or any of us in general, have recovered well since the great crash of the economy. But from what I understand from reports, and even what we see at the Opera House, we've seen a lot more younger faces than we have before.
Yeah.
And so we're optimistic that that's going to grow, and you know, hopefully all the economy comes back, and our public sense of well-being gets better, and
Yeah.
people start participating in these
Well,
events
this can
more.
help. So if you want to do something, you know, really creative, what you do is you get seats to the opera, and then you go one step further. Take some kids. Take as many kids as you can afford. Fill the house, right?
And you don't
I'd
have to
love
be
to
and
see
you don't
that.
have to be rich to take kids to the opera. We have a dress rehearsal program for every main stage opera we do in Blaisdell. You can bring the kids for $7. You as an adult get to come as $7 too, as long as you have the kids in tow. Can't come by yourself.
Yeah.
As long as you bring some kids. $7. What a bargain.
Right, and then you can talk about it, learn from each other. You know, it enhances the experience if you exchange ideas about it, like you and I.
Yeah.
So we're out of time though, Eric, and you know, we have to have some closing music on the way out. And I wonder if you could think of anything else you might want to sing as we go out today.
How much time we got?
A minute or two.
Okay. I'll give you an Italian art song.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. It's Caro mio ben.
Okay.
Caro mio ben, credimi almen, senza di te languisce il cor. Caro mio ben, senza di te languisce il cor. Il tuo fedel sospiro agnor cessa crudel tanto rigor, cessa crudel tanto rigor, tanto rigor. Caro mio ben, credimi almen, senza di te languisce il cor. Caro mio ben, credimi almen, senza di te languisce il cor.
This is Think Tech. We mean it. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you, Jay.